Hey, welcome back for part 2 of the little QDR crash course. Last week we were talking about the basic QDR push-up, which was where we were setting up in this squat position with our hands in front and then understanding how to rotate and twist the body so that we could get to the side of our hips and start to understand that balance once you have your elbow into the proper position. Today we're going to kind of take it a full step ahead, going straight to working on the endurance of the balance rather than just understanding where to get the elbow. And keep in mind, as we go from the basic push-up to the actual hold, I was playing around with the QDR push-ups for probably a year before I even realized that there was a hold. So when you're trying to kind of go from this basic push-up and then you enter the skills that I talked about in the video today and you find them a little bit tough, just understand that this is like a month and years long process to be able to truly balance just on one hand. Even though it's a lot easier than something like a one-arm handstand, it's still pretty tricky and it's quite a long learning phase for it. So do that due diligence with the skills that we worked on in the first video as you start to understand these skills and incorporate them as well. So what we're going to do for this one, we're going to be entering from the side. And so with the QDR, it's typically linked in movements like animalistic movements that are getting popular today, and from capoeira, which is a Brazilian style of fighting in martial arts. So entering from the side is much more applicable to the uses that the QDR will find itself when you're actually training versus just doing it as a party trick. So that's why we're going to enter it from the side. So same type of squat position that we used for the basic push-up, but this time we're going to reach slightly to the side, and as we reach to the side, we're going to face our hand the opposite direction of our foot. So if our feet are facing to the front, we're going to face our hand to the back. And you can see my feet aren't facing perfectly straight ahead, so my hand, it's not a precise position, but you don't want it to the side, we want it more to the back. So as I shift into position here, we're going to go right to that side position, and the first position we're going to use is this super easy position here, and we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. I'm not going to hold it for 30 seconds today just because that would make the video quite boring, but this is all about building up endurance in positions and then gradually connecting them one step forward to a slightly more challenging balance so that over time you can build up the ability to progress and also build up the ability of your wrist to handle this type of endurance, right? With the basic push-up, we were just touching these positions. And so even though it's the same position, we weren't holding it for any substantial amount of time. So now with these holds, what most people are going to find is that the wrists tend to become pretty tired. So starting in the easiest possible position so you can just focus on holding versus getting into these complicated positions where you're really having to fight for balance and coordination and all that other business. So right back to that first level one more time. Hand faces back. Other hand reaches out to support. We find that side position, and then all we do is we clamp that knee on top of our elbow to hold ourselves up, and then we come on out. Next one, we're not going to rest the knee on the elbow. So very simple. If we're here in this position, then we just take that knee off, using our head for balance. And we just advance it a little bit more each time. So once you've gotten through step 2, step 3. 1, 2, 3. Step 4, brings the head off the ground. Step 5, 5 fingers. Step 6, 1 finger. Step 7, just taps. And then step 8, is to hold. And so as we progress through, we're just making it a little bit harder to balance, and probably you're going to expect to spend at least 4 to 6 weeks working on each position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hopefully at least 3 times a week. But what you want to focus on is a position that you can hold for 15 to 30 seconds for 5 sets. When you choose your position, you don't have to start in position 1. Say that the basic push-ups came pretty natural to you. You were able to get those legs out to the sides. You were able to feel weight in your elbow, and your wrist didn't get too tired. You may just come right to this position and hold here without having to worry about using your head for the balance. But to go through the positions one more time just so you can quickly see them. Starts, hand faces back, other hand gets to the ground, head for balance, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the full position. Always try to enter and exit smoothly without the feet shifting around, just because that looks smooth. It makes you look like a pro. And really, that's the next step to the QDR. It's getting into the position, spending that time. So 5 sets, 15 to 30 seconds that you can hold securely before advancing to the next level for about 4 to 6 weeks is going to be the time that it takes you to do it. So 3 times a week, 5 times a week is better, but remember the wrists are going to get sore too. So 3 to 5 times a week, 5 sets, 15 to 30 seconds in the best position that you can hold, and then advance when you're ready.